all that comes under your observation in life. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Shri Vaishnav Vidyapit Vishwavidyalaya, Dr. Upinder Dhar, Patron Manoprabha 2024, Dr. Santosh Dhar, Rector and Dean FDSR and Conference Patron, Dr. Dinesh Nagar, Director and Convener of Manoprabha, Dr. Rupa Shinde, Head Humanities, Dr. Shubhi Vyas, Ms. Akanksha Saxena, coordinators of the conference, invited speakers, delegates, and students. Namaskar and a very warm welcome to the valedictory session of Manoprabha 2024, a two-day national conference organized by Sri Vaishnav Institute of Social Sciences, Humanities and Arts on the theme Mental Health and Quality of Life in the Age of Technology. There is no end to the possibilities of a new beginning, and if it comes to research, it is always full of more and more possibilities. It was our great privilege to have such a distinguished group of academicians, intellectuals, and research scholars in this conference. To know more, I invite Dr. Shubhi Vyas, Coordinator Manoprabha 2024, to present a report.
Thank
Over
you,
to you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
It is with great pleasure that I present the final report for MANOPRABHA 2024, third virtual conference on mental health and quality of life in the age of technology. Sri Vaishnav Institute of Social Sciences, Humanities and Arts organized MANOPRABHA 2024 Virtual International Conference on 6th and 7th December 2024. The chief guest of the inaugural ceremony was Dr. Vidhu Mohan, former professor and head, Department of Psychology, Punjab University, Chandigarh. The inaugural session started with the lighting of virtual lamp with Saraswati Vandana and virtual welcome of the chief guest by Dr. Upinder Dhar, Honorable Vice Chancellor Sri Vaishnav Vidyapit Vishwavidyalaya, Indore, and conference patron. Dr. Dinesh Nagar, Director, Sri Vaishnav Institute of Social Sciences, Humanities and Arts, and convener Manoprabha 2024, introduced the theme and briefed about the aim of the conference. The master of ceremony of the inaugural session was Dr. Amit Joshi, and the rapporteur was Ms. Aparna Singh. The technical support was provided by Mr. Shadab Sheikh. Dr. Dinesh Nagar, in his address, deliberated on how digital revolution or the third revolution has had a huge impact in transforming and reshaping the banking sector, business, communication, social interaction, entertainment, employment, and education, and thus has positively enhanced our wellness and quality of life. Dr. Upinder Dhar, Honorable Vice Chancellor and patron of the conference, in his welcome address, talked about the increasing use of technology and how it has significantly impacted the social fabric of society, where the rise of digital communication has replaced face to face interactions. Dr. Dhar emphasized how social relationships, once built around shared experiences and personal connections, are now mediated through screens, diminishing the quality of life. He suggested to improve both mental health and quality of life and also accentuated to integrate technology in a way that supports rather than replaces real world connections and well being. In addition to this, the conference souvenir Mano Darpan was released by Dr. Upinder Dhar. The chief guest, Dr. Vidhu Mohan, spoke at length about how technological advancements have undeniably enhanced our lives, making it easier to navigate the competitive world and gain academic insights across various fields. Digital tools have revolutionized research, communication, and accessibility. However, this progress comes with significant drawbacks that can harm well being. Dr. Mohan highlighted issues like cyberstalking and online harassment, which have become prevalent, particularly targeting vulnerable groups such as women, children, the elderly, and emotionally unstable individuals. The ease of technology use often leads to careless online behaviors, with privacy being compromised and users constantly surveilled. Social distancing, although a necessary measure during crisis, has further exacerbated feelings of isolation, replacing face to face interactions with virtual communication. Additionally, the misuse of nuclear energy and cyber fraud have raised concerns about safety and security in an increasingly digital world. Dr. Mohan stressed on the importance of developing emotional intelligence, positive thinking, and interpersonal skills, which are vital for personal growth. The Johari window model, which helps us understand our personality through self awareness and feedback, can guide us in improving mental well being. Dr. Mohan also acknowledged that addressing stress, improving time management, and cultivating a healthy balance between digital engagement and real life connections becomes crucial to ensuring long term happiness and overall well being. The inaugural session was concluded with a vote of thanks proposed by Dr. Shubhi Vyas, Coordinator MANOPRABHA 2024. The plenary session 1 was graced by the session chair, Dr. Santosh Dhar, Rector and Dean, Faculty of Doctoral Studies and Research, and conference patron MANOPRABHA 2024, along with three eminent speakers, Dr. Anubhuti Dubey, Professor, Department of Psychology, Deen Dayal Upadhyay, Gorakhpur University, Dr. Kishore M., Professor and Head, Department of Psychiatry, JSS Medical College, Mysuru, and Dr. Krishan Kumar Soni, Professor, Department of Psychiatry, PGIMR, Chandigarh. The master of ceremony for the session was Dr. Shilpa Fadnis, and the rapporteur was Ms. Akansha Vaishnav. Dr. Dhar elucidated the perks of this digital era with potential to grow and embracing advancements in our lives. Along with that, she threw light on the negative consequences which is occurring due to the overuse of digital platforms and how it leads to the significant mental health issues such as low self-esteem, lower motivation and empathy, lack of focus, anxiety, lower sleep quality, aggression, and many more. Dr. Anubhuti Dubey spoke on the theme of digital technology and quality of life and conversed about how technology affects our mental well-being. She unraveled two types of social media. One is social networking sites, and another being instant messenger and their functionality. She shared effects on both active and passive users. She concluded with creating eudaimonic well being out of this digital era, which is linked to a subjective experience of living a life of virtue and human excellence rather than hedonic well being. Dr. M. Kishore spoke on the theme Mental Health and Quality of Life and Digital Technology and augmented his deliberation with the evolution of human mind. He compared a child's mind with that of AI and as it takes inputs from its surrounding and then gives its byproducts. Dr. Kishore explained how neurons act as chemical highways that make us think, laugh, and enjoy through serotonin, dopamine, and other chemical hormones. He elucidated a picture of non-digital world for children where they are more creative and innovative than being in the digital world as they get distracted. He concluded with major concerning situations as lack of emotional bonds in family, lack of focus, loneliness, boredom, etc., and stated some solutions to these, like providing natural interactions to children and less use of electronic gadgets when children are around. Dr. Krishan Kumar Soni, in his address, spoke on the theme Gender Disparity in Mental Health. He stressed that emotional health of women has not yet received much attention. He concluded with taking women mental health issues as serious as of men and also suggested some preventive measures to make a change in the situation. The words of thanks were given by the session chair, Dr. Santosh Dhar, where she summed up all the learnings from the session and suggested a balanced approach to decrease the detrimental effects of the overuse of digital platforms and to take women issues with more sensitivity. The first technical session was chaired by Dr. Rajendra Mahaske, Distinguished Professor in Clinical Psychology at the Department of Psychology, University of Pune. The session included a variety of interesting paper presentations with participants covering a diverse range of topics, such as both research and review papers on various interesting topics like psychology and mental health, leadership attitudes, corporate commitment to mental health, well being, resilience, and empathy among urban and rural adolescents, bridging positive psychology and psychotherapy, online gaming, etc. A total of 12 papers were presented, followed by a question and answer session. The session ended with Dr. Varsha Upadhyay, session co-chair, delivering a vote of thanks, expressing gratitude to Dr. Rajendra Mahaske for his insightful suggestions and feedback, acknowledging the contributions of faculty members and participants, and recognizing the efforts of MANOPRABHA committee coordinators. The master of ceremony for the session was Ms. Ritika Sharma and the rapporteur was Ms. Devyani Kabra. The concurrent session 1 was chaired by Dr. Smita Pandey, professor at School of Behavioral Forensics, National Forensic Sciences University, Gandhinagar. The session included a variety of interesting paper presentations on various topics like cyberbullying and emotional regulation, change in dynamics of the workplace, stress and emotional health of sports players, personality traits, music preferences, etc. A total of 9 papers were presented, followed by a question answer sessions. This session ended with Dr. Sheetal Jain, session co-chair, delivering a vote of thanks and expressing gratitude to Dr. Smita Pandey for her insightful suggestions and feedback. The master of ceremony for the session was Dr. Anuradha Deshpande and the rapporteur was Ms. Palak Panchal. The concurrent session 2 was chaired by Dr. Meeta Jha, professor at the Department of Psychology, Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla University in Raipur. The session included a variety of paper presentations following interesting topics like perfectionism, anhedonia, and student well-being, marital satisfaction and communication patterns, behavioral self-regulation, internet addiction on insomnia, etc. A total of 7 papers were presented, which were followed by a question and answer session. The session ended with Dr. Rupa Shinde, session co-chair, delivering a vote of thanks expressing gratitude to Dr. Meeta Jha. The master of ceremony for the session was Dr. Anand Soni and the rapporteur was Mr. Anuraj Ghai. Day 2 began with the plenary session 2, which was graced by the session chair, Dr. Dinesh Nagar, Director, Sri Vaishnav Institute of Social Sciences, Humanities and Arts, and conference convener, MANOPRABHA 2024, along with 3 eminent speakers, Dr. Purnima Singh, Professor Emeritus, IIT Delhi, and Dr. Manisha Agrawal, Professor and Head, Department of Psychology, Banaras Hindu University. The moderator of the session was Dr. Amit Joshi and the rapporteur was Ms. Ritika Sharma. Dr. Singh spoke on the importance of technology in enhancing quality of life and mental health. She emphasized the pivotal role of technology during COVID-19 pandemic and its continued significance in fostering social functionality and emotional well-being. Dr. Singh also highlighted the evolving focus on social well-being, which is crucial in a collective society like those in Asian countries. She explored the dichotomy of individualism versus collectivism and stressed the need for a balanced approach to mental health within social structures. While acknowledging that technology is a double-edged sword, capable of invading privacy and hampering social connections, she also pointed out its immense potential in promoting mental health. Dr. Agrawal, in her address, focused on organizational behavior, work life dynamics, and the role of technology in shaping workplace culture. She highlighted the critical interplay between mental health, job satisfaction, and turnover intentions among medical and paramedical professionals, extending her insights to both teaching and non teaching staff. Dr. Agrawal presented mental health statistics and wellness quotients, emphasizing that female employees, particularly those aged 35 to 45, are disproportionately affected by mental health issues. She identified the urgent need to address toxic work cultures in India, detailing factors such as workplace harassment, bullying, mobbing, gossiping, power struggles, and favoritism. In conclusion, Dr. Agrawal called for proactive measures to create inclusive, respectful, and healthy work environments that prioritize mental health and well being, emphasizing the transformative role of empathetic and supportive leadership. Dr. Dinesh Nagar, the session chair, delivered his concluding remarks, appreciating the speakers for their impactful presentations. He commended that their efforts in shedding light on critical and relevant themes and encouraged the audience to translate these insights into actionable steps in their professional and personal lives. The technical session 2 was chaired by Dr. Anita Puri, Head Department of Psychology, MLV Government College, Bhopal. A total of 14 papers were presented, followed by a question answer session. The session ended with Dr. Pamela Nima, session co-chair, delivering a vote of thanks and expressing gratitude to Dr. Anita Puri. The master of ceremony for the session was Mr. Satish Patel and the rapporteur was Ms. Ridhima Saktawat. The concurrent session 1 was chaired by Dr. Anupam Shukla, Professor, Department of Psychology, Institute for Excellence in Higher Education, Bhopal. A total of 11 papers were presented, followed by a Q&A session. The session ended with Dr. Shilpa Fadnis, session co-chair, delivering a vote of thanks and expressing gratitude to Dr. Anupam Shukla. The master of ceremony for the session was Ms. Ritika Sharma and reporter was Ms. Avni Shah. The concurrent session 2 was chaired by Dr. Kalpana Jain, former professor and head, Department of Psychology, ML Sukharia University, Udaipur. The session included a variety of interesting paper presentations on topics like mental health and quality of life in the age of technology, impact of workplace spirituality on mental health, role of mindless scrolling in fostering fear of missing out, etc. A total of 13 papers were presented, followed by a Q&A session. The session ended with Dr. Amit Joshi, session co-chair, delivering a vote of thanks expressing gratitude to Dr. Kalpana Jain. The master of ceremony for the session was Ms. Aparna Singh and the rapporteur was Ms. Oshna Bhatnagar. The last concurrent session 3 was chaired by Dr. Rishu Roy, Professor, Sri Vaishnav School of Management. The session included a variety of interesting paper presentations and review papers. A total of 14 papers were presented, followed by a Q&A session. The session ended with Dr. Varsha Upadhyay, session co-chair, delivering a vote of thanks and expressing gratitude to Dr. Rishu Roy. The master of ceremony for this session was Dr. Bharti Geete and the rapporteur was Ms. Anushka Parihar. I thank you all for your patient listening.
Thank you, ma'am. This conference has been a platform for intellectual growth and the exchange of ideas. Let us now hear from a few delegates as they share their thoughts and reflections on this enriching experience. For this, I would like to invite at first Abhiram M. Ajay, Professor, JSS Medical College, Mysore, Karnataka. Over to you, Abhiram, sir.
So, yes, yes. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so this is our second time we are attending MANOPRABHA conference. The major thing I feel is that organizers, they anytime we can contact them and share our concerns, and also the base like the best way they organize this conference always. If MANOPRABHA 3 is planning to organize, we will be part of that also for sure. So that is one of the experience, and the topic selected all time is very relevant now. So our department is specially focused in behavioral addictions. So online behavioral addictions and all our students and all, it's a great opportunity for them to listen to lot of various topics and all in online related behavioral addictions and other online mental health related topics, and also it was a basically very great opportunity for us and our students. So it's very congratulations for everyone, and I'm especially thanking to the university for coordinating this kind of conferences and all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to invite Lieutenant Colonel Manish Kumar Dadwal, who is doing his PhD, is a research scholar in psychology of Desh Bhagat University, Mandi Govindgarh. Over to you, sir.
Vice Chancellor, Sir, Dr. Dinesh Nagu, esteemed guest speakers, respected researchers, faculty members, and my fellow participants. A very warm good evening to all. It is truly an honor for me to be given this opportunity to express my gratitude and thank everyone who made this meeting of some of the best intellectual minds possible over a period of 2 days. On behalf of all the attendees, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Upinder Dhar and the entire team at Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya for organizing this enlightening and impactful event in such a professional manner. We had the privilege of hearing from eminent psychologists like Dr. Vidhu Mohan, Dr. Manisha Agarwal, Dr. Kishore, and Dr. K.K. Soni, and various research scholars from across India who presented their cutting edge work on diverse mental health issues such as gender inequality, body image issues, cyberbullying, homo, and the complex dynamics that social media and technology have introduced into our social fabric. These discussions allowed us to appreciate the multidimensional nature of mental health and the pressing need for continued research. I was particularly intrigued by the utility of psychotherapies like hypnosis and ACT and concepts like mindfulness in the application of scientific knowledge to enhance mental well being. As we face new challenges in the digital age, it is inspiring to see that experts and researchers are working tirelessly to provide solutions grounded in evidence, empathy, and holistic care. In conclusion, I extend my sincere gratitude once again to all those involved in the successful conduct of MANOPRABHA 2024 and giving researchers like myself such a wonderful learning opportunity and platform to present our views on mental health. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Dadwal. Now we'll have a release of brochure of MANOPRABHA 2025. So I request technical team to play the release. Thank you. Now I invite Dr. Upinder Dhar, Vice Chancellor and Conference Patron, to give his concluding remarks. Over to you, sir.
Good evening to all the delegates, organizers, and faculty colleagues, directors, deans, and young friends. We have been organizing MANOPRABHA, an annual conference with an objective to share the thoughts with other experts working in other universities, other institutions, increase awareness, and also understand where do we stand and what needs to be done urgently to take care of problems related to mental health. Mostly, if we go back, more attention is paid to physical disorders, physical health. But we need to understand, as we have seen through this conference also, mental health is equally important. I believe that both somatic and psychological, that is physical and mental domains, are inseparable. We cannot separate them. Even when one is having a physical disorder, the person's mental state is affected, and vice versa. Therefore, we have to see somatic and psychological dimensions as one. They cannot be actually segregated. It is for the sake of understanding that we segregate them, but in reality, they go together. State of mind and the state of physical well-being. There are concerns. Concerns are there if we look at it very keenly. Statistics shows that 1 in every 5 individuals suffers from one or the other form of mental health issue or any mental disorder. Says at least symptoms are there. 50% of mental health conditions begin by the age of 14, 1-4. And 75% of mental health conditions develop by the age 24. 970 million, 970 million people around the world struggle with some mental illness, one or the other illness. This is a big number. Out of 7 billion people across the world, 7 billion people, out of 7 billion people, 970 million people are having one or the other problem related to the mental health. See, this is based on the report of World Health Organization, WHO. So 970 million people around the world struggle with one or the other mental issue or say illness or mental condition. Even 1 in 4 people are affected by a mental illness at some point in their lives. 1 in 4 suffer from any kind of mental disorder in the whole life. 14.3% of deaths worldwide, or approximately 8 million deaths each year, are attributable to mental disorders. You see, many times on surface we feel that, well, when it comes to death, that may be because of physical disorder. But even due to mental disorder, deaths happen. Deaths do take place. Say, for example, depression, acute depression. One may turn to be not only suicidal, but even homicidal. One may commit this suicide, or one may even push other people to die. There are examples you must have seen in the newspaper. That one lady, age 35, threw 2 children in the well, and then she also jumped into it. All the 3 died. And then there is a line. She was undergoing treatment for depression for last few years. So this causes death. So mental disorders also become reason for death. Many times when a person is having any kind of mental condition, say acute condition, he or she may not be able to communicate what problem I am having. With the result, maybe some physical disorder, maybe palpitation, maybe about to have the heart attack, but he can't communicate. With the result, the person may lose his or her life. So close to 60 to 70 million people in India, if we talk in case of our country, 60 to 70 million people in India suffer from common and severe mental disorders. 60 to 7 million. It's alarming to know that India is the world's suicide capital. I mentioned it earlier also. With over 2.6 lakh cases of suicide in a year. Quite a big number. Statistics released in the World Health Organization, by the World Health Organization, say the average suicide rate in India is 10.9 for every lakh people. 10.9 for every lakh. Therefore, as I mentioned earlier, see, there are concerns. Concerns are that there are just 0.3 psychiatrists, 0.07 psychologists, and 0.07 social workers per lakh, 100,000 per lakh people in India. Now you can see the gap. Just 0.3 psychiatrists per lakh, 0.3. 0.07 psychologists, even lesser, and 0.07 social workers per lakh population or per lakh people in India. Again, here is a concern, is a gap, big gap. To compare the ratio of psychiatrists in developed countries, if we compare with developed countries, the ratio is 6.6 per lakh. In our case, it is 0.3. In developed countries, it is 6.6 per lakh. And the average number of mental hospitals globally is 0.04 per lakh, while it is only 0.004 in India. Here are the gaps. You see, only good news is that now Government of India has taken certain steps. very positive steps, very proactive steps in last few years, based on various reports which were issued earlier, which were submitted earlier and implemented. Even in the national budget, good money has been reserved for providing the counseling services, particularly to the younger generation and the older senior citizens. Initiatives have been taken, which is very good news, and these are proactive initiatives, but a lot more needs to be done. Seeing our population, since we have the bigger population, the largest population in the whole world. So naturally, population of people with mental disorders is also more. There is a relationship. So more needs to be done. More Manoprabhas are required to discuss and identify the ways to cope with such situations. Discuss about various strategies which can be used. We need to train the people. We need to develop the skills to handle the situation. People should be well equipped to deal with patients of mental disorder within the family. It is not necessary that everybody is admitted to the hospital. Even in the case of hospital care, we have come a long way. There used to be a time when it was called asylum. But now, over the period of time, there has been a lot of advancement. So thanks to medical science, thanks to research that has been done across the world, today we have no more the asylums. We have mental hospitals. We have psychiatric wards, even general hospitals, bigger hospitals have psychiatric departments, psychiatry wing. So measures are being taken, no doubt, but then a lot more needs to be done. So I'm sure that our faculty will continue under the leadership of Dr. Dinesh Nagar, continue organizing Manoprabha. And I would like to congratulate him for choosing the right theme for next Manoprabha. Mindfulness. Today, we talk about mindfulness. How mindfulness helps to cope with the mental disorders. How we can deal with disorders even at the individual level. When we talk of mental problems, they can be dealt at the individual level, they can be dealt at the family level, they can be dealt at the community level, and they can be dealt at the hospital level. So, multi-pronged approach is required so that people with any kind of disorder, any kind of problem is dealt with. Every patient, when physical, if we talk about physical problems, if a person is just a fever, but everybody who has a fever is not to be hospitalized. Similarly, when a person is experiencing mild disorder, mild psychological disorder, temperamental tantrums, he's not to be admitted in the hospital. So in our families, people should be aware about the situations. If such situations arise, how one can deal with such persons who are not having any major problem, who are not psychotics, who are not having a psychotic disorder. One may not be having even a neurotic disorder, but then at the same time, one may be having temperamental problems, on the surface. They can be dealt with. Then comes the patients of, say, neurotic patients, psychotic patients, and so on and so forth. So we need to see the day very soon when we treat physical disorders and mental disorders at par and see them as two dimensions of One person. Each person is having both the dimensions. They go together. In reality, they cannot be segregated. It is only for the sake of learning that we segregate. But we have to take them together. Today, time has come to overcome the stigma. Even today, people don't want to go to a doctor, even to a psychologist, because of the stigma. I remember when 40 years back, I had a clinic in Delhi, posh area of Delhi called South Extension. I used to practice. So people used to come, जैसे कोई देख तो नहीं रहा. Why? Because of stigma. In a big steel, capital of the country, even that time, 40 years, 45 years back. But if we look at it, situation is not much different even today. Particularly now in the second tier cities. Stigma is still there. One doesn't want to say that I am having some mental problem. It is just contrast when it comes to physical disorders. When somebody would say, well, I was not well for 4 days. No, what happened? Yes, just fever and I was having joint pain, nothing else. Okay. But when it comes to mental disorders, one would not say, see, I was not feeling well for a few days. I was having some neurotic problem. I had some tendency to commit suicide. I felt like committing suicide. I felt like hitting someone. One would not say that. So one is not disclosing the truth because of the stigma. So we need to, now time has come to overcome such stigma. Today we have technology. Today we have more educated people. But then MANOPRABHA has to keep on addressing these issues. So I'm very happy to note that MANOPRABHA 2024 was a very successful conference, and all the delegates have felt that it was a learning exercise. So that learning exercise has to continue, and I wish all the best to the organizers for MANOPRABHA 2025. And thank you very much to all the delegates for joining us and sparing their invaluable time. Thanks to all the resource persons for spending their valuable time with us. Of course, virtually. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for gracing the occasion and giving such a comprehensive deliberation. You are giving us the credit, but most of the credit goes to you, right from selecting the topic and seeing that every step is being implemented very properly. So, sir, thank you very much. Without your guidance and without your blessings, it would never have been possible. Thank you.
It's a collective effort, teamwork. Thank you.
Yes, yeah, collective.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Nagar sir. Now I request Professor Akanksha Saxena, Co-Coordinator, MANOPRABHA 2024, to propose words of thanks. Over
Good
to you,
evening,
ma'am.
everyone. My name is Akanksha Saxena, one of the coordinators of this conference. It is my privilege and honor to extend the vote of thanks on behalf of the organizing team of MANOPRABHA 2024. Today, as we conclude this enriching and insightful event, I wish to express my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who has made this conference a grand success. First and foremost, I want to extend my sincerest gratitude to our patrons of the conference, Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Upinder Dhar and Dr. Santosh Dhar, Rector and Dean, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, for their unwavering support and guidance. Sir and ma'am, your presence has been a source of inspiration for us, and we are deeply grateful for your patronage. I would also like to thank our convener, Dr. Dinesh Nagar, Director, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Sri Vaishnav Institute of Social Sciences, Humanities and Arts, for his vision and leadership in conceptualizing and organizing this conference. Sir, your tireless efforts have been instrumental in bringing together renowned experts and scholars in the field of psychology. I would like to take this opportunity to express my deepest appreciation to my colleague Dr. Shruti Vyas for her immense support, guidance, and encouragement throughout the planning, execution of this conference. And I have learned a great deal from her expertise and experience, and I am grateful for the opportunity to work alongside her. A big thank you to all the members of the conference committee for performing their roles with efficiency and enthusiasm. Your collective efforts have made this conference a seamless and rewarding experience for all. I would also like to thank the university's technical support team for their expertise and assistance in ensuring the seamless execution of the online conference. To our student volunteers, I extend my heartfelt gratitude for their enthusiasm, energy, and commitment to ensure the smooth conduction of the conference. Lastly, I would like to thank all the speakers, session chairs, co-chairs, participants, and attendees for their active engagement, thoughtful discussions, and valuable contributions that enrich this conference. Once again, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to each and every one of you for your participation, support, and contributions to making this conference a success. Thank you. I would now request everybody to kindly rise up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Okay, can we exit now?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone.